My dear students, first I have to wish you a Happy New Year. Happy New Year 2019. What will happen very, very important in 2019? Look on the north of France, across the sea, you know? Britain, Great Britain. What are they going to do? Logically, they have to Brexit, so to exit the European Union. But as you know, it's not as simple as it seems. So here we are. Then we are in 2019. In less than 3 months, the UK is due to leave the European Union. Well, you already know it. The withdrawal deal struck between Theresa May, the Prime Minister, and the European Union 27 countries is no closer to winning MP's approval than it was before Christmas. Just to remind you, a first vote organized was just cancelled because the Prime Minister was unable to reach a majority on the trade-off found with the European Union to organize Brexit.
We've now had 3 days of debate on the withdrawal agreement, setting out the terms of our departure from the EU and the political declaration setting out our future relationship after we have left. I've listened very carefully to what has been said in this chamber and out of it. To what has been said in this chamber and out of it by members from all sides. From listening to those views, it is clear that while there is broad support for many of the key aspects of the deal,
after the European Commission President, Jean-Claude Juncker, told the UK to get its act together, the Prime Minister urged the House of Commons in her New Year address to allow the country to turn a corner by voting through the unpopular deal. But she failed to win any concessions from EU leaders over the Christmas period, and having insisted MPs will vote on the agreement in the week starting 14th of January. The UK will be in uncharted territory if they reject it, she warned. Has now launched a fresh round of appeals to the bloc to cut her some slack on the Irish backstop. Friendly conversations with, among others, Juncker have so far got her nowhere, with the EU claiming that negotiations on the withdrawal agreement have been concluded, and the bloc has gone as far as it can in offering reassurances over the safety net. The EU could perhaps offer an exchange of letters confirming its intention to conclude trade talks by 2021, but whether that will satisfy Tory Brexiters, which has ruled out backing the deal, is far from clear. Labour, meanwhile, will support an amendment that could severely restrict the government's taxation powers unless no deal is taken off the table, and could offer a second referendum on an EU deal it renegotiates, as the party leadership came under intense pressure over its Brexit policy. One poll showed Labour support would collapse at the next election if it eventually backed a Brexit deal, while another survey of party members suggested most believed Jeremy Corbyn should back a second Brexit vote. 90% would opt to remain. So far, however, the Labour leader has remained defiant. Meanwhile, Brexit-related economic gloom deepened. Economists predict GDP growth of just 0.1% for the final quarter of 2018. Manufacturers face their biggest worker shortage in 30 years, and house prices took a major hit. Police reinforcements are to be deployed to Northern Ireland. You know this issue. At the moment, there is no more borders between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, which is a part of the United Kingdom. But With the hard Brexit, with the no deal Brexit, this border will be reintroduced, and it is one of the main issues faced by Theresa May for the moment.
I set out in my speech opening the debate last week the reasons why the backstop is a necessary guarantee to the people of Northern Ireland, and why, whatever future relationship you want, there is no deal available that does not include the backstop. Behind all those arguments are some inescapable facts. The fact that Northern Ireland shares a land border with another sovereign state. The fact that the hard-won peace that has been built in Northern Ireland over the last 2 decades has been built around a seamless border. And the fact that Brexit will create a wholly new situation. On the 30th of March, the Northern Ireland border will for the first time become the external frontier of the European Union's single market and customs union. The challenge this poses must be met, not with rhetoric, but with real and workable solutions.
So, they have deployed police forces to Northern Ireland to deal with the disorder of a possible no-deal Brexit, which universities said would be catastrophic. As the Prime Minister announced, she would chair a new cabinet committee on Brexit planning, including for no deal. The one thing we can be sure of is that it's going to be a fun-packed few weeks. So what next? Parliament will finally have its delayed vote on the withdrawal agreement on 15 January. Government sources have confirmed. Before then, May aims to offer reassurances in 3 areas: Northern Ireland, the role of Parliament in future negotiations, and, in written and legal form, the role of EU 27 member states. The Democratic Unionist Party, DUP, of Northern Ireland and hardliner Tory Brexiters will not be convinced, and the EU is unlikely to make any further concessions until MPs have defeated the agreement at least once, as seems almost certain, so as to prevent Brexiters from coming back for yet more. If the margin of the defeat is less than about 100, the government may make a final appeal to the EU 27, and guess what they are going to reply? Okay, for help, in the unlikely hope it can come back to Parliament with a substantively different proposition. Pressure on May will increase. Labour could table a vote of no confidence, and hard Brexiters in her cabinet could revolt. Ultimately, she hopes to convince the DUP, Tory hardliners and enough Labour leavers in a second parliamentary vote that the choice is or Brexit, no deal, or no Brexit at all. A very heavy defeat on 15 January or a second defeat could trigger a big crisis. Well, the current one is not enough. Anything could happen. A mass cabinet walkout, indicative votes, a change of strategy, perhaps toward a permanent custom union, a second referendum, or an election. Through the 2 latter options would mean extending Article 50 requiring EU 27 agreement. How? What do you forecast yourself? Do you have any solution? Do you have any opinion on this strange Brexit? Do you think finally the UK will remain? It's up to you. See you.